You know, one of my passions as far as charities goes, that really gets me excited, it's called Wells of Life. And it's so appropriately named because it's all about the fact that digging wells for water brings life. And it brings life in this sense. It actually saves lives. We take water for granted here in this country. I mean, we don't realize the definition of true poverty is really when you don't have good quality water to drink, because without water, we would die. And so there's an Orange County organization called Wells of Life, and of course they tracked me down, they found me, and so I met with them and they showed me a brochure and they talked about, you know, how one well will, for $6,000, will save 1,000, will give water to 1,000 people, which 20% do not live without clean water, don't live to the age of 5. So basically 200 out of every 1,000 people born in this part of Uganda, northern Uganda, will die without clean water at some point. So, so I gave them, you know, a reasonable amount of money, and then bought a well as well for my daughter. She got engaged, and her and her fiance were engaged in Africa. Of course, it was on a safari, and he surprised her with a ring, and so Africa became somewhat sentimental to her. And so when she found out that I was involved in this organization, she wanted to go. And I said, well, as a matter of fact, I plan on going because I could see that the director of this group really wants more money out of me, and I'm not going to give any serious money until I see what this is all about. So both of us got on a plane with the director and 3 or 4 other people that are involved in the charity that also wanted to see it, but had also given money. And we spent, I think, 8 days, two of which are traveling, really 3 or 4. So I think we spent about 5 days on the ground. And you meet the people that need it. And one thing really that will get you passionate is when you actually see your money at work, seeing it make a difference in somebody's life. And so they did an unveiling of the well that I and my wife gave to my daughter and her fiance. And it was a surprise, but I've got a picture I could show you, but it's unveiling it to her, and she started crying, I started crying, and she thought, this is the best gift. In fact, I quote, it's the best gift she's ever gotten. And she got a Range Rover Sport when she was 16. So I thought, wow, this is awesome that she's gone from a 16-year-old who wants a fancy car to becoming an adult who really realizes what's important in life. And she just fell apart and fell in love with the people there, and especially the little children. Everywhere we go, she'd pick up the children. And there is a speech at her wedding that I'm going to give, and part of it, the dad always has to give a talk, and I can't wait to say this part of, but I really saw her mature as a woman and know that what a good heart she has, because we were at a stop sign, and these are all dirt roads, and cars buzzing up and down them, and there's this little girl who's probably 2 with her big sister who's probably 5 or 6 going to cross the street, and they're waiting for the cars to go by, and we're at the stop sign, and she tells the driver, stop, don't go yet. And she opens up the van door, and she grabbed a napkin in the car, goes across the street, wipes the snot out of the 2-year-old's nose and cleans her nose up, then comes back into the car, and then we go. And I thought, wow, I think I did something right. And anyway, so after that, we both became ambassadors of Wells of Life, and it's truly inspiring because when you see these young kids, they have such a zest for life. what they're missing, obviously, they've got to have water, they've got to be educated, they got to have food. And, they're well on their way in terms of there's food and the education. There's charities out there that give the education. But water's the first thing they need. It's very vital to their life. And so, being a value-add individual, honestly, I can't tell you what it means to know that $6,000 helps 1,000 people and it saves 200 lives. When you look at it that way from an economic standpoint, you want to give every dollar you have to them. And I'm doing what I can.